Good afternoon, viewers. You are watching us live from our main studios here at Sukuta, and this is your Teachers Hour Show with me, Pa Osman Fall. On the studio today, I have a guest from Laterkunda Sabiji, who is a teacher who have been teaching for quite a while now. But before he introduces himself, I will just want to remind you, if you want to be part of our program, so you know what to do. As I always say, just type Jungle Entertainment Universe and follow us on all our social media platforms. We are on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Sponsors are also invited to support courses like this because, as I always say, teachers are people that we know, people we should value as long as our societies are concerned. Teachers are people that will teach our children to be better leaders tomorrow. Without teachers, I mean, like I always say, I've never seen a country that was developed by the least educated people, and teachers are always there to make sure that they educate the young ones that will be the leaders of tomorrow. This is what we always bring for you people as Jungle Entertainment Universe. What we do is entertainment, we entertain, at the same time we educate. Good afternoon, Mr. Jame.
Yes, good afternoon to you, Mr. Fall.
Welcome to the Teachers Hour Jungle Entertainment Universe.
Yeah, thank you very much, and of course it's a pleasure to be here. Good afternoon to all of you viewers following us right now on the Jungle Entertainment Universe. My name is Mr. Babukar of Jame. Teaching right now at Latrikunda Sabiji Upper and Senior Secondary School, and of course it's a pleasure to be here today.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you for that immaculate introduction, Mr. Jame. I think we can now have the program in proper.
Okay.
Like I always do, I will want to know, I mean, what inspires you to be a teacher? Because we've seen teaching nowadays teaching has always been a noble profession anyway. But nowadays, majority of the young people, the last thing they want to do is to be a teacher. So I will want to know what inspires you to venture into the teaching field.
Yes, thank you very much for asking that question. I know before becoming a teacher, I passed through a stage. That is a student, and of course today it's teachers that make me to become a teacher today. Because I have passed through so many stages from the nursery level, coming down to lower basic, junior secondary, and coming to senior, and of course to the tertiary institution at the Gambia College. Shortly after my completion at the senior secondary schools, I didn't fit in to equip myself, of course, to develop myself to be in the teaching field, whereby also I can able to explore and of course develop my whole horizon, and of course to get more experience, also interact with the young people to impact knowledge in them. And I believe if you come to the Gambia today, majority of the Gambians will always say, I don't fancy teaching because of there's no incentive. But now what inspired me to be in the field was I believe I have to play my responsibility and my role as a citizen of the Gambia to play my quarter towards national development. So I believe when you come to that level, sometimes I have, before joining the teaching field, I was one time the press club president at the Gambia High School. When I was there, I mentored so many students who are now in the area of the media, and most of them were telling me that you have your own field, you have gone to your own field. It's not go to Gambia College to study or to be a teacher. So I asked them, what should I do? They said, no, the only place that you're supposed to be is in the area of media. I said, okay, I have to play my part. I want to play my role and to work towards national development.
Absolutely.
Everybody have your area. That is, I said I will start with teaching area so that to able to boost my understanding, of course, to get more experience by interacting with the young ones, the uprising ones, also to become better future leaders for this country. So what inspired me to be in teaching is the love that I have for the nation, to serve my nation in the area of education.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful. What an inspiration. I mean, this is really good. I mean, teachers are always teaching. I mean, the words that you've just demonstrated here is even teaching. I mean, you have taught people some of the lessons that as a citizen you need to be a patriotic citizen. You have to love your country. I mean, and then if you want to, one of the fundamental steps to make sure that you participate in any national development is by teaching people something that is really good. Another important thing is, how does it feel to be a teacher?
Yes, as I said initially, it's passion. Teaching is passion. Whatever you are doing in this world as a profession is passion. And teaching is a noble profession, looking at the area we venture in. And to look at the Gambia today, most of the areas that we venture into the area of profession, teaching is number one. Because here you are trying to impact knowledge and of course change the life of the young ones to become good leaders for this country and of course in other countries in the world.
Absolutely.
So what is more special in the teaching field mean that you are trying to impact knowledge onto the young ones to prepare them for the future.
Absolutely.
Because normally, in any society that you go to, when we don't have education, definitely that society will not move anywhere. So what is important here, to build foundation for the young ones, learning and teaching is the best place. That's why to be a teacher, it's a milestone and it's so remarkable. So, and we always take center stage in this area to ensure that we always try to put more efforts and of course to instill knowledge into the young ones. Not only about knowledge, but even skills. Acquisition is always part of it. So as we said, it's very important for young ones always to be venture in teaching. Mr. Fall, today you also understand that if we ask even our own students in our schools, who want to be a teacher, maybe after completion of your senior secondary school, going to the university or college, some of them will say no. If you ask them what happened, they say teaching is not easy. It's not easy. It's very difficult. So some of these things, I believe, when you go further in the program, we like to unveil some of these things that are serving as a barrier. Why most of the students are not encouraging to be joining the teaching field. But it's very special indeed. And it's so remarkable for one to be a teacher. Because always, as I said, you are interacting with the society. Because you meet with different children from different backgrounds. So coming from different destinations, coming together, you as a teacher in a class, you as an individual, trying to mingle with those students, accommodating all of them, their behaviors, their attitude, their moral, everything, try to cooperate with that, and of course to insert knowledge in them. That's one thing that is also special about teaching.
Absolutely. That is really good. I mean, they always say, I mean, you cannot help someone without knowing their problems.
Exactly.
And being a teacher, you always know the problem of the student.
And that is quite important. Normally, the first day of class is key in any teaching fraternity that you go to. Now, normally as a teacher, what is important for you, if you come to class first day, you should know the different kind of students you have in your class. That's the first thing that you have to do, what they call observation. Because we have different students, some of them having, especially students in the class, that need support. And some of them are slow learners, some of them are fast learners, and some of them also are moderate or average learners. And some of them also have what they call support, difficulties in learning, what they call learning difficulties. So you as teacher now, if you come to class, the first thing that you have to do is observation and see what kind of student am I having in my class. From there, we get into what they call interaction with the students. And through interaction with the students, then you're able to know and figure out some of the problems and the type of student that you have in your class.
Absolutely, which is really important. And I believe, I mean, you are definitely doing justice to, I mean, some of these questions that we really need to know, because we've seen young people are not really into teaching, and then any country that does not have many teachers, it becomes something else, because the young ones will not have anybody that will definitely educate them. So being a teacher is not easy, we understand that. But what was the major, I know people have, I mean, different destinies and different challenges to face, as long as, I mean, you are pursuing your career or your profession, to be specific. So what were the major challenges you have to face in order for you to become a qualified teacher?
Yes, today when you finish your senior secondary school, the Gambia College is one of the training ground for teachers. Gambia College, you have 4 schools, but the school that is designated for teaching or training teachers is School of Education. And of course, we also go to GTT. I also train people in of technical and all that. But in the Gambia, you come to Gambia College, School of Education, which is the biggest school in the Gambia, Gambia College. Education trains young people to become teachers, because we all know we have different areas: the lower basic and the senior secondary school, upper basic, where we have diploma and advanced diploma programs. Now, you asked, when I completed my senior secondary school, I decided to join the teaching field. First, what I did was I have to apply through online to the Gambia College, so to become a student there. It becomes so hectic. Normally, people give name to Gambia College as Gambia College, which is normally, it's very hard for one to excel there. You have to be so determined and of course committed to your work. You have excel. I remember when I was there, I was not only in the area of going to classes, being taking part in the class discussion and other things. I was taking part in the extracurricular activities, whereby I have been running 2 clubs at the same time. I was part of the 2, as a member of 2 different clubs. I remember one time, in fact, some of them will tell me that you need to focus on your learning and be more concentrated on what you are doing here. Because what brought you here, the primary objective of you being here, or the aim, is for you to get knowledge and able to attend class. And I say, well, what's important for me? I have been attending classes, and my activities being part of the press club and other activities, those not deter my progress in class.
Yeah.
I always do well in class.
Yeah.
But now when it comes there, normally it's very hectic. Mostly, if you are far from the campus, the Gambia College, normally you have to commute.
Wow.
And sometimes you have morning classes, sometimes you have evening classes. And you have to come very early to school. Sometimes we all know the Gambia, the level of transportation becomes a problem. More specifically, the traffic congestion and other things. And also, if you are also going back lately, sometimes you go home lately, before you reach home, it's late. And following day also, you have to come to school.
Absolutely.
But also a lot of assignments given to you, and which you have to do. And this assignment can also make you to make your performance better for you to be able to pass your exam.
Honestly.
So all these things have been there. You have encountered a series of obstacles on the way, but with all that we have to overcome them. Yeah, definitely you have problems there. Normally, thank God I don't pay because I was on the government scholarship. But some who are also paying that also affect them. And also coming down to the issue of the class attendance. You have to be regular in class.
Absolutely.
So if you are not having that opportunity, like financially, you are not strong, you are not able to meet that attendance sort of. And of course also the assignments also, because lecturers always give you assignments. So before one become a teacher, because Gambia College, one will say they are doing great when it comes to training teachers, because they change the lives of teachers, and of course also to impact that teaching skills in them, for them also to be prepared to face the young one, also to impact knowledge on them.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely, which is really, really, I mean, important. What you have just demonstrated here, so that, I mean, Gambian teachers usually start facing challenges when they are at their college level, and then the challenges continue, even if now they are done with their college and now they are teaching. I mean, it is even difficult, when they've started teaching, because you are, endeavoring, you are doing everything to make sure that you inculcate, I mean, decent knowledge into the minds of young people. At the same time, you are facing a lot of challenges as well. As you say, transportation, which have been a major issue from many years now, up to date. I mean, people should definitely, especially the government, definitely see a way to make sure that that is really, I mean, even if they cannot solve everything, but at least to play a part to make sure that there is of transportation, because it's not easy to teach the whole day or learn the whole day, and then you have to struggle for a vehicle to definitely go home. It's discouraging. Maybe people like you who have been, who are used to it, can at least say, let me just be here and continue. But those who are to come, whenever they observed, and people in the Gambia have become very opinionative. The moment they start seeing some of these difficulties, they will definitely not go into it, which is really important.
And in fact, I've have engagements with different teachers from different schools, who also try to unveil some of the ordeals they face in the area of teaching. Some of them, what they will say is that normally to go to school becomes a problem. I talk about the Gambia College when I was there. And even right now, post-college education level, we've been posted to schools. Sometimes we see, even my own school, Latrikunda, where I am right now, you see some teachers commuting all the way from Brikama, coming, and they have to go back again and come back the following day in the morning. And normally, if that happens sometimes, that also makes teachers also to be very tired. So, and if you are so tired also, to teach effectively in class always become a problem.
Absolutely.
I remember attending one of the congress, the regional region 1, where in fact the issue of the bus was raised, whereby the Gambia Teachers Union and of course the ministry can assist teachers to provide buses for them.
Absolutely.
Last week Saturday, I was at I think a Scan 8 graduation ceremony. One of the constraints being pinpointed by the principal at the school was that the coming of teachers to the school, some of them come to school late, and as a result, what caused that is because of the transportation. Before you get vehicle from turntable going to Scan, where is in the outskirts of the community of Burfoot, it takes time. So before they get to the school, it's always late. So mean that if you have first period as a teacher, before you get to the school, always the time always elapse. And mean that you have to cover that. And how can you cover that? Mean that you have to organize an extra class for those students, or at least for them also to benefit for lesson loss. So all these things are problems that we teachers are facing right now. But I know if you go deep into some of the problems we face, I would like to unveil some of those things to you, like in the area of incentives that are lacking in the area of teaching and other things as well.
Absolutely. Anyway, we will definitely come to that, but I will want us to deviate a little from being specific on the teachers and also involve students. I will want you to elaborate on some of the contributing factors that is definitely compelling students to fail, because teachers also have a responsibility to play. Definitely they have been trying, despite all the challenges they are faced with, despite all the predicaments they are faced with, they are definitely delivering. But we have seen over the years, if you look at this exam, especially when it comes to international exams like WIAC and WAS, you see, we've seen majority of the Gambian students failing. What do you think are the contributing factors that is leading to majority of the Gambian students failing?
Okay, so many factors contribute to the failure of students in examination massively, but I would like to dissect them into points so that at least we can able to look at them, one of them. Number one, if you look at the failure of students in examination, that can emanate from students themselves. Parents have a role, and teachers also have a role to play. Now, let me start with the area of students. Students nowadays, they're endowed. They have mobile phones, which they can use to in fact, to facilitate their learning process for them, and even teachers as well. But majority of the students today, instead of using mobile phones to make research, to able to make their work easier for themselves, and to explore to beyond the level of what they have, no, they will also be busy on other areas.
Absolutely.
So I believe if they're able to use those platforms, they're able to use the social media platforms, they're able to make research for themselves so that they can learn. Whatever has been learned, or teachers normal teaching class, they can use the same to also to go outside the classroom, use the mobile phones, and able to search, to get more knowledge on that area and read as well. But most of them are not doing that. Other one is they're not reading their books.
Absolutely.
You as a teacher, you give notes to the students. Sometimes you become very mad on some of the students in class. You try to give them note and ask them to go and read. Some of them they will not read. You give them assignment for them to go and do. They will not do the assignment. If you call them the next day, why is assignment? One thing they will tell you is that I forget my book at home. So mean that they have not even the time they close from school, they go home. They don't have little time for their books. What they engage mostly is their phones. And the parents also are not supportive to them.
Supportive to them, absolutely.
So parents will see that children busy on using their mobile phones. They don't even remind them or even tell them to go and open their books and read.
Yes, absolutely.
So majority of the students in the school, in our schools today in the Gambia, they don't fancy reading.
Yes.
So culture of reading is fading away now. That's why before I would say you cannot compare before education before and now. We have seen our parents before. They struggle. They don't have mobile phone where they can able to make research and read. They use their textbooks. And for some of them have struggled all means to get notes and read. And in fact they pass the examination. But today we see massive failure in our examination. Students have all the what you call the supplementary textbooks.
Absolutely.
They have all the equipment. They have all the facilities. But the problem there is they are not ready to learn. I always say this. Students in our schools, they are not stupid. They are intelligent, but they don't fancy education. And of course, they are not serious about education. They don't focus. So now that's another contributing factor why students are not performing in schools. Now, if we also come to the area of these parents at home, parents give less time to their children. I believe parents will always be with their children, always encouraging them to read at home at all means.
Absolutely.
And of course, to engage them, to look at their books, what they have learned in school. And if for so, the particular teacher have given them assignment, they will know. Or teacher is marking the book, they will know.
Honestly.
But few parents, only few, I can say only 2% of the parents now, will have to be more engaged in checking the book of their children to know what they are doing at school.
Absolutely.
Even the most serious thing is the performance. If you come to the end of term activities like the exams, only few parents will be able to know, become eager to know what their children have in the exam. So this is also another alarming issue for us as teachers. If you come to us as teachers also, we have also another factor, another role to play. We're also part of the contributing factor so to some extent of students failing examination. One of the factors is that you as a teacher you should always be prepared to face students in class. I have seen now today students are not being prepared to go to class because one time if you're in class you are trying to deliver or trying to do your deliberation, you see only a few questions coming to you for your teacher to answer those questions. And students now they have to prepare. That's why I always say to students at my school, then always you have to go and read your books. Prepare for the next class when you come. So that whatever you read, you don't understand, you can throw the questions to me, we answer together. And maybe someone also be in the class also who have the answer to the question. The person can answer the question. That's how you learn. You as teacher, you come to class, you are not prepared, you face students, and in fact what you are telling them, in fact, doesn't match with the content of the subject.
Exactly.
And even the topic there. So I mean they are trying to mislead the students. And students also who are also pushing to ask a question, they think that what you are saying is right.
And then looking at it, Mr. Jami, on a broader perspective, you will tend to realize that I mean, it all boils down to one denominator, and that is parental contribution.
Exactly.
Parents have to contribute. I mean, there are certain parents that don't even know the class of their children. Some of them, the moment they register their children, that's the end.
And I'm not cutting short, Mr. Fall. I made this point last 2 weeks to students. That when we call for a PTA meeting at the school, I was going around informing parents, students just to remind them for them to call their parents. And some of parents were even calling me, telling us that my child said there's a PTA meeting. I said yes. But the first meeting we call, some parents don't turn out. Yes, they don't appear. So what happened was when the principal called for the second one, I went to the student. I told them, I said, this is very sad nowadays in our school, whereby parents of children always come to school on two important occasions. That is, when it's time for them to register their children into grade 7 or grade 10, that's time the parents will come. And even to some extent, in fact, some of them will not even come. They have to push the sister or the uncle, or in fact, or even the brother to come. So they come for registration. After admission, you don't see them to the school, or in the school. They will not come to the school. Now, what they will do now, they wait until when it's time for graduation or passing out. That's the time you see them again. So mean that you should know what the performance of your child in that school. You should know the class the child is. You should know teacher that are teaching the class, and of course you know everything about the child there.
Absolutely.
But in fact they will come. You ask the parents what's the name of the child. They will mention the name, which class is that. It's grade 7 or it's grade 10. I don't know the class. So this sometimes become difficult. So I always tell them that if you must try by all means to know the child class, so that at least you can meet them. Become very easy.
Absolutely, is there
but this is exactly. But this is not happening. This thing is not happening.
It's not happening.
So they are failing on their responsibilities, which I believe they have to do by all means also to be able to implement.
It's really important, to be honest. This is a very important point that Mr. Jammeh is just raising. We will be going for a short commercial break, but we will be right back. And then don't forget, you are watching Jungle Online TV, and this is your show, the Teachers Hour, with me, Pausman Fall, and today's guest is Mr. Jammeh, all the way from Latrikunda Savage, teaching there. So, and you can see we are able to learn a lot, especially parents' participation when it comes to their child's education is really, really important. We will be going for a short commercial break, and we will be back. Welcome back after that short commercial break. Viewers, as you see, we've discussed a lot of important topics with Mr. Jammeh, who is not just educating those who are watching, but I myself that is interviewing him. I am learning a lot when it comes to the teaching fraternity of the Gambia. This is what we do. Like I always say, as much as this jungle entertainment universe, what we do is edutainment. We entertain, at the same time we educate. Do not forget to subscribe and also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and we will be streaming live on both Facebook and TikTok with my guy, Mr. Savali. Welcome back after that short commercial break, Mr. Jammeh.
Yes, welcome once again, and of course welcome to the viewers as well.
We have dealt with topics that are really important, but there's also a statement which I will want to tell you and see how you see that statement. A lot of educationists have been saying that Gambian generally we are knowledge consumers, not knowledge producers. How do you see this statement?
Yes, that is very key. That's the point. I think all these things emanates and come down to the area of support and of course build what we call structural layout for us here in the school. Normally we have to do that. I think that's the setup of the education system in the Gambia. And I believe if the setup is changed, that is the curriculum is changed, then I believe more of these things will change.
Will change,
So most especially if you go to our schools today, we always consume theory. But in practical, we can able to apply that.
Absolutely.
So this is the problem that we are facing in our schools level today. I keep on always telling people and students in our schools, unless we change the narratives, and unless we change our act, most students now are going to school. And sometimes you cannot always blame the students of doing that. And because of the setup of the curriculum.
Absolutely.
And of course, how teachers also teach students in the school. I always tell them, what is important for you is to learn and understand, but not only to learn and go and pass examination. But after finishing your units on the school or finishing your level, you pass the exam. At the end of the day, if you are asked to go and play a part there or go and work there, sometimes to defend what you have learned becomes difficult for you. So this is the problem that we are having right now in the Gambia here. So the way set up is we are training students to how to pass the examination. And most of the students now in the Gambia here, their focus is how to pass exam, but not to understand what they are learning.
That is how they are oriented. I mean, if you look at the best schools in the Gambia, the students of Nusrat, Methodist, the St. Peter's, St. Augustine's, I mean, all of them are like, I want to pass exams to make sure that, my school is one of the most talked about schools.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, so orientation is generally inculcated in every, Gambian students to make sure that I have to raise the pedigree of my schools.
Yeah.
Yes, we are not trying to discredit the fact that a good student should try and, participate on enriching the CV of his or her school, but also the knowledge that you should be able to defend the degree that you have outside.
Yeah.
But even in the University of the Gambia, sometimes it's a problem. You will see somebody who graduated with summa cum laude, magna cum laude, and they cannot defend those honorary things they achieve, which have been something that really disturb people like me a lot. And secondly, also you've raised a very important point, which is, basically the curriculum.
Exactly.
It's really important. It plays an important role. I always say that, the Minister of Education or the Ministers of Education, both the higher education, yes, the higher education, and the basic, their children should stay in the country. Anybody that is mounting certain positions, certain prestigious positions in the country, their children should be restricted from traveling.
Yeah, sure.
Because in order for you to know what is the taste of the soup, you must be able to at least take a taste from that soup. So in order for you to know how effective the curriculum is, your children should also go through the same curriculum. So when you are engaging them at home, you will know obviously that if this curriculum is effective.
That's why I always say the reason why the government is not paying attention to the area of the teachers in our public schools is because they don't have their children in those schools. Yeah, honestly. And all the plights that we are facing, the constraints teachers have been complaining about. Yeah. These complaints and of course the plights of teachers in the country here teachers have already been talking about it day in, day out. And all of them, if you look at even the Minister of Education today, she was one time a teacher. Yeah, exactly. So, and often came to the extent of becoming a regional director. Yeah. I think those are the ministries. I have been one time teachers in the school, they serve as teachers in our schools. Yeah. They know the plight of teachers. And today, one thing I'll tell you, if young teachers keep on talking about the plights that they are facing in our schools, the old teachers in the system always tell them that you have to endure the pain because you will pass through this stage. Yeah. Now, you want to change that, you want to change the narrative, you want to change the dynamics. So at least teachers now, they can able to help themselves, to develop themselves. Yeah. We don't pray that to be in the system, though we are there to help the young ones, the upcoming and of course the uprising ones, to have better for the future for them. Yeah. But if those students also don't have, the teachers don't have incentives, it becomes difficult for the teacher also to impart knowledge to the student. Honestly. And now, those in the top ranking government officials that are in the office right now, what they will do, they can take their children to the private schools. And one thing I will give you, sometimes you see, somebody just appointed as a minister. Yeah. Somebody just been elected as a member of parliament. The first thing they will do, take their children from the public school, transfer them to private schools. All this is happening in the Gambia. Exactly. So we have to ask ourselves, why are they doing that? Yeah. And in fact, just to explore, I was watching one video, I think Nigeria or Ghana. Yeah. So sort of like a video, sort of a movie, sort of, where this woman is trying to accompany her child to her daughter to the school. Yeah. At the time of sport, the daughter have to ask the driver to stop and ask what happened. The mother was quick to ask the child what happened. Why stop the driver? The child have to tell the mom, why are we going? Why are we leaving all these schools behind, all these public schools, and taking me to private schools, far distance, where we are traveling, trying to commute. So the issue is, in fact, according to looking at the movie, the mother, in fact, is the director or the minister on that particular side, as the Minister of Education. So she is taking her child, her daughter, to a private school, living a distance from home, passing so many public schools on the way. So the child have to ask the mom, why are we leaving all these private schools, public schools behind, and we are going there? Exactly. The mom, the answer was, the policies are not the same. So he said, now, you are the policy implementators. Yeah, exactly. You have to do by all means. So change those policies so at least you can suit the system. Absolutely. But if this is not done, obviously, it's becoming so futile and very funny for us as teachers to see that most of them, those who are holding top positions in the government, taking their children to private schools. Yeah. And the problems that teachers are facing in the government schools, they know. Yeah. the public schools, they know.
Absolutely.
But they don't come with other, any form of alternatives or incentive they can able to do.
Absolutely.
And try to provide to our teachers for them to change their lives.
Honestly.
Yes.
And you've raised something really, really important, which is the moment you are, you have given a power
Yes.
in the government or any other sector, the first thing you do is to transfer your children from the public schools to a private school. And imagine you are representing the people.
Yeah.
I mean, when we talk about the public, we talk about the masses.
Yeah, sure.
That's who are, those who are not, extremely privileged to an extent that, so one can call that, it's not just misrepresentation, but also unrealistic representation. Because you are trying to represent something that you are not honest to.
So, exactly.
Honestly, because if I said that my goal or my objective is to make sure that I develop the public, to be honest, I will not remove my children from a public domain and try to take them to privatize whatever they do.
And one thing, Mr. Fall, here, is both the policy makers and the policy implementers, they have to come with some of these things.
Yeah.
Those who implement the policies, and of course those who also try to bring up the policies. That's talking about the Assembly, National Assembly, and coming on the side of the executive. I believe everything has to start there.
Yeah.
So one thing that is important for us now, as teachers now in this field, one thing that we need is to come up with a very correct policy that are able to motivate teachers to stay in the field.
Absolutely.
Whether you know or you don't know, teachers are living the field every now and then.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you ask them, they will say that I want to develop myself, I don't want to be in the system. At the end of the day, I don't have anything. And one thing people will say is that if you want to remain poor, not to earn anything for yourself and develop yourself, remain to be a teacher.
So
we have the same teachers who have been serving. At the end of the day, they retired. They have to go for contract again.
Absolutely.
And after all their pension allowances, they cannot take them anywhere.
That's it.
So this is becoming something very sad for us.
It's totally disheartening, honestly. It's totally disheartening. And you have also made mention of something very, very important. We said Gambia, generally our education, we prioritize more of theory than the practical. Recently, I've seen the University of the Gambia, School of Journalism, they were demonstrating. They said they need tools or equipment to be able to practicalize the theoretical aspect that they are taught in class, which is something that is really disheartening. Imagine the highest institution in the Gambia, as long as education is concerned, demonstrating to the general public or to the government that they need equipments to be able to practicalize what they are doing. And imagine when you talk about journalism, it's all about practical. So these are things that that's why majority of the people will just say, and we just sit and say the education system is just garbage, which I believe is a wrong statement to use. But honestly, looking at it is definitely not being helpful.
By looking at this dimension, you also understand that looking at the different continents, Africa, Asia, and America, or Europe, if you come to Africa, I always say this, even more especially the Gambia. Gambian students are always good. You will not know until they go outside. Absolutely. And most of the time, if you go to some of the international universities, those who come out very good the results, of course, performance, are students from the Gambia. From the Gambia. Anytime you have Gambians in those universities, their performance becomes excellent. Absolutely. But the problem is here in the Gambia. Yesterday, in fact, before coming yesterday, I was having discussion with some of my fellow teachers at the school. After, sometimes we discuss about issues, about burning issues in the Gambia, more especially in the area of teaching and, of course, education area. So I make this point there to them. That it doesn't mean that Gambians are not good. Gambians are very talented. When they are anywhere they go, they excel. Absolutely. But the point here is we don't have those means. We don't have the equipment. We don't have facilities in the Gambia whereby students can able to learn and see some of these things concretely. Now the problem here is if you go to China, Chinese always are focusing on learning. They do both theory and practical. And wherever they are good there. But in the Gambia here, Gambians are more into theory. And wherever they go now, sometimes even they go outside, beyond the limit of the Gambia, this time always they try to expose to some of these practical means. Even looking at our seniors in one of the schools, we have labs. We have the science labs. And some of the science labs, in some of the schools, we don't have science labs there. And even those schools that are having science labs, they have little or no equipment. In fact, the equipments that are not well established.
Absolutely.
So this is the problem that we are facing now.
Yeah.
They are just learning some of these things in classrooms, but when it comes to practical, they cannot be able to do it.
Honestly.
So this is the problem that we are facing right now.
Honestly.
Even if you go to area of agriculture, we are learning students about, teaching students also about some of the agricultural methods of farming and other things. In horticulture, we go to animal husbandry, poultry and other things. But we come to theoretical aspect, they are good. We take them to the area of practical. It's a problem.
It's a problem.
So some of these things are affecting us. So the Gambia currently, I think the education curriculum setup need to be transformed and changed, whereby the ministry should try to come with some of these things set up to also engage and focus on the area of practical as well, so that students can be well prepared. But you cannot continue to wait until a later part when you are at university or other tertiary institution, you start learning some of these practical means when it's too late for you. I think these things have to start from the grassroots.
Absolutely, which is really disturbing us. I mean, even looking at the Gambian system of education, we believe that like research should start from maybe grade 12 or even at the
tertiary level.
Exactly, at tertiary level. I mean, young people, they even have more time than adults. So they can spend half of their time trying to research, to gain more knowledge. But parents also have a role to play in this. Because parents are the very ones that, even if they don't tell you, they are the very ones that orient their child to the mindset of believing that learning just stops from the four corners of the classroom, which is really wrong. I believe research should start from the classroom, like you said, because it broadens the mind of the children. This plays an important role, and it is also geared towards facilitating the work of the teachers. But they will tell you to go to school, and then if you are not doing well, they said like they usually say in all of saying teacher not knowing what the teachers are going through to put something in the head of your child. It's really disheartening, to be honest. These are some of the factors that we need to look at as society. And also those who are seeing the helm of affairs should definitely come to terms with teachers. The salary of the teachers is really bad. There is no doubt about that. The curriculum, like you've mentioned, is another contributing factor. These are some of the things that we need to talk about. Whenever we say that some areas of the curriculum of the Gambia should be reformed, they think that you are trying to politicize what you are saying. Because of the minister is there, and the minister was employed by the current government, you have a problem with the government. That's why you say this minister. No, we are saying something that we believe that will develop the country. So when we say certain things should be reformed, it should be reformed. Because it has been in the system and it's not valuing exactly. People are not, taking it seriously, and it's not being helpful, it's not being useful. So that's why when we talk about reform, it's just to change. It's not like to remove the person that is working there. No. It's to change some of the
systems there.
Exactly. But this is where the misunderstanding comes. People will say that, it is because you people are from this party, or no, it's not like that. We are not from any party. We are just saying something that we believe will be useful or beneficiary to the society.
And what we are doing is geared towards promoting nationalism.
Absolutely.
And of course also moving down to national development.
Honestly.
So for that being the case now, I think there's no see it as something like we are just trying to criticize them. What we are doing, we are just trying to criticize the government constructively and not destructively. And our role here as teachers, when it comes to our field, what we are trying to look or trying to anticipate is to have a better conducive environment for teachers, whereby teachers can also have incentives, could be more encouraged, and to be supportive also in the area of teaching and learning. So that also the students in our schools, they can be well fed with relevant information as well. Very prerequisite of information that they need to get from teachers. Also, from there also they will get it.
Sincerely.
But you cannot leave your compound. You don't have this money to live at your compound, and you expect to leave your compound, come to class and teach effectively, leaving your family members here, your wife and the children sit at home. In fact, they are very hungry. You are teaching the class. In fact, you don't feel comfortable in that class. Just like the same also applies to students. If a child comes to school, child having stress, you will not learn. Teacher also have stress at home. If you come to class, you will not teach properly. And if you don't mind, you come with that stress and try to put that stress towards the student or the child in the particular class. So sometimes it's a problem we are facing right now.
And then looking at this, it's not even a teacher and students today, but it's a national concern.
Generally, yes.
Absolutely. These are some of the things. And then, the discussion is really important, Mr. Jame. Indeed, we are learning a lot. Like I said, initially, not just the viewers, but I myself that is interviewing you. I am definitely learning a lot. But now I want us to also talk about something.
Okay.
Like if you have been in the education system for quite a while now, I mean, you understand a lot of things as long as the education of the Gambia is concerned. So if you are given the opportunity to change certain things as long as the education system of the Gambia is concerned, what will they be?
One thing, what is very important, as I said initially, we need a lot of transformation. Though the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education is trying a lot in changing some of these things, but still now, I think some of the things need to be added and, of course, put into consideration for us to have a suitable learning environment for ourselves.
Absolutely.
Now, you talk about teaching and learning. Now, as I said, it's not only students and teachers. We are also having different stakeholders.
Yeah.
And these stakeholders here, we have the community and the parents down there. And even ministry is a part of the stakeholders in this endeavor.
Yeah.
So what is important here today, the first thing that we have to change, you know, right now you have to call accessible education, access to education.
Yeah.
Because the ministry came up with a motto or slogan called access, relevant and quality education.
Yeah.
Before you have quality, what are the steps that you have to put forward?
Exactly.
First, the first thing that you have to put. So the first thing that we have to consider. I always say this thing. It's not only about access.
Yeah.
We have different schools. Schools have been established. Schools have been erected in different places across the country. And we have children now. Children now, they are not traveling far to those schools. But now, getting those students now, relevance is key. But the accessibility, the relevance will lead to equality.
Absolutely.
But now, if you are bringing those kind of things now, teachers, we have thank God, we have more teachers now coming from the college who are qualified. Before we don't have that. Before I can see we have a lot of unqualified teachers in our schools. Now one of the problems now, before we say it, is like what we call lack of enough qualified teachers. But today that's what we call thing of the past now. Gone are the days where you have a lot of teachers in the school that are unqualified. In fact, they don't even go to college. And going to the college will help you to get the skills in teaching. That's why how they call educational professional studies, EPS, where teachers have been trained on some of the like ethics, professionalism, classroom management, and other aspects for you, between you and students as well, and of course the community and the parents as well, and also the school administration. But now that's how we change. But the area of quality now. So one thing that have to change in our system is that schools have to be provided with a series of supplementary textbooks that are very rich and relevant to them, for them to read. Because if you go to our schools now, we have different textbooks. Sometimes these textbooks students will use there and textbooks students will use there will be different. But ministry is trying by all means also to recommend books. Any book that's not recommended, that book should not be supplied to the schools. But I know if that happens now, schools need to have a very strong textbooks whereby all the students have it there, and that textbook should be in line with the curriculum and also the syllabus of the WIC.
Exactly.
And of course, not only even that, because I talk about what we have to read and understand what we are learning. So that is another thing that they have to work on as well. And the other thing is that is the changes of the setup is also the capacity of our classrooms. Like the number surpass, the ratio of students 1 to 45. So now, if you go to classes, sometimes you have more than 60 students in a class.
Absolutely, some are even 70.
70 in a class.
Honestly.
And sometimes, and this one I'm talking about public schools. This which I believe the ministry is to put their focus on.
Exactly.
If you go to private schools, we have only 25, 35 students in a class. But you go to public schools, you have more than that. So now, what the problem is now, you as a teacher now, you don't teach effectively. And if you tell the ministry that this is a number you can able to accommodate in our schools, in fact, the ministry have to in fact dictate you. So this is the number of students that we are going to enroll in your school. But they look at the capacity of your school. That's the students in the classroom. If the number goes more than 45 or more than 50 in a class, sometimes they sit 3 on a seat. And if that happens now, you as a teacher, if you come to class, you don't teach effectively. The ones are sitting at the back, you don't understand what you are saying. And unless those who are in front, because some of them also will start making noise, murmuring in the classroom. They keep on asking them, keep quiet until the period ends. So meaning if you are having 30 minutes or 45 minutes to teach in a class, if you don't mind, you're going to have only 25 minutes to teach in that class. Before you sit down, before you come to class, make the arrangement for them, sitting arrangement, or some of them, the way they sit, it's not correct. Because if you sit in that way, they start making noise. And if you sit in class also, you keep on asking them, keep quiet, keep quiet, keep quiet. And the policy said, no teacher have the right to send students outside the classroom. They have the right to be in class. You can use other means to punish them, but not you as teacher to send them outside the class. Now what can we do now? A student sitting in class making noise, because what happened, the number in the class, the class size is so large, so it becomes difficult for teacher to teach in that particular class. I think that needs to change. That needs to be changed for us to have a quality education in our schools. So the other thing will be, now when it comes to that level now, to make learning easier for ourselves, that is the area of the school level. Sometimes we're not able to complete the syllabus in our normal setup when it comes to lessons. we have to come with what we call extramural classes. And some parents are not supportive at all. Because the ministry coming up the program called the SIG, whereby, in fact, the burden of school fees is no more on the parents now. Only few areas have been considered. But now, even looking about the study classes that are organized in the school should be under the side of the SMT, that is school management team. Now, the school management team should be responsible, or the PTA should be responsible for conducting or organizing classes or study class for students, whereby the school admin should not be involved. So the point here is now, even though this is happening now, sometimes you as teacher, you are willing to organize class for students. Students will come. I have a lot of experience. I am with my colleagues at the school. We organize class for students. We ask them, this is the amount you are going to pay. Sometimes students will owe you 3 months, 4 months, they will pay. Exam comes, they do the exam and they'll go. So the problem here is also parents will be ready to also invest. If government say SIG, don't only rely on the SIG. For us to have quality and change some of these things to have better education in our country, we always try by all means to propel your child to always attending classes. But I believe by attending classes, that child is able to learn a lot. Because to cover syllabus within the time frame given to us, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, we have a lot of school breaks, we have a lot of public holidays in our schools. And of course, sometimes also for you as a teacher to complete the syllabus become difficult. So these are some of the things now, I believe, we have to make some changes.
And one can say, I mean, in the Gambia here, policies, educational policies are one of the major problems we are faced with. Because sometimes you have a bad policy, a very bad policy that is properly implemented. We have good policies that are not properly implemented. And these children right and then depriving teachers from their rights is becoming something that will make teachers reluctant. But anyway, time is not in our side. I know our subsequent program, we will definitely elaborate more on, I mean, these things. I've just been allotted that we are left with 3 minutes. But this question, I usually ask every, I mean, teacher that sits here, which is, I think, a major contributing factor to the, I mean, failing of Gambian students, which is mass promotion, which is now making students not to even worry, because at the end of the day, it's all the same thing. Whether I have force, whether I pass or not, I am going to be promoted. We are going to the same class, you know. And then I asked this, I mean, headmaster that came here the other time. He said it is a policy from the ministry that says every child should have, I mean, a number of years and an uninterrupted basic cycle.
That is talking about from grade 1 to grade 9.
Exactly. Which I believe, I mean, this is the grassroots. I mean, the grassroots of the child. I mean, from grade 1 to grade 9, that is, from grade 1 to grade 9 will definitely explain the potential of the child. I mean, the first 9 years of the education of the child will definitely say everything. But if the child is being promoted, definitely it will be almost practically impossible for the child to pass. So how do you see this?
That's what we call a wheelbarrow system. Pushing students, even though they don't pass, we push them massively. Mass promotion is causing a lot of failures in our exams. Because today, you cannot push students who are not able to read and write. For one thing, I always say that you, as a student, before you pass exam, the first skills that you have to possess is reading. Because if you don't read, you cannot understand.
You can understand,
All these things, in learning, we have 4 basic skills. And these basic skills, all of them are according to a level of what they call understanding. Because you must read, write and read, speak and listen. If you're not good at listening in class, you're not able to read and write. And in fact, sometimes also, speaking becomes, if as a teacher, if you are speaking to students, what I expect from you is to listen. I read, you go home and read for you to understand. So now, what is important here for them? You cannot keep on pushing students to different grades. A child who cannot able to read and that. Sometimes it becomes very funny. You see a child in the senior secondary school, child in grade 9, you ask them to read, sometimes what they will do, they take the book and give it to somebody to read. Ask them, I cannot read. So some of them literally plain, I cannot read. So now, the foundation is the problem. I believe if a child cannot read, the child should continue repeating. That the moment they repeat, they improve. During nowadays, students are repeating. They repeat. When they repeat now, what they do now, they have to go and do extra work. They will read harder, they study, so at least for them also to be for the next class. But today, that's not happening. And if a parent even start coming to class, to school, telling that my child may not repeat, allow him to go. Because the policy says that no child should repeat. And this mass failure is contributing immensely to the the massive failure of students in our examination.
It is quite interesting, Mr. Jame. I myself, I am definitely enjoying the conversation. But like they always say, something that is really beautiful. Don't
Yeah,
last
so,
that much. So just to allow you to give your concluding remarks, so you can close for today.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Fall, and of course, thank you to the viewers right now following us.
Yeah.
As I said, this is Jungle Entertainment Universe. I believe what is important here, this has been a very interesting and fascinating show, whereby we have to also reflect on the side of teaching and, of course, the roles and the plight of teachers in the Gambia here. So what is important here, we are stakeholders, teachers, students, parents, and, of course, the ministry have to come together and able to promote the sector and, of course, the field as well. So what we need right now as teachers, for us to have a better education, the ministries to stand on their feet to promote every bit of the area so that our teachers can be having more incentives, can be encouraged, and whereby also parents also should come by all means to liaise with teachers in our schools to promote the standard of their students and, of course, their children in our schools. And children also, what thing they have to do morally, they have to show respect to their teachers as their mentors, and, of course, to always follow the school rules, and by all means also to continue reading their books. And I believe if these things are done, what we are facing right now will not happen. We have to see some of the changes in our system, and I believe with time and space, some of these things will come to be. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jame. I mean, viewers, that was what we have for you on the Teachers Hour today with me, Pa Ousman Fall. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on all our social media platforms. We are on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And also, if you have said anything that you believe that might have been lapses, know that no man is perfect. But if you have said anything that is beneficiary to the society, know that, I mean, it's from God, and this is what we are here for, to make sure that we contribute on our own quota on the national, I mean, development. I was your host, Pa Ousman Fall. Till we come your way next Wednesday, inshallah. Thank you very much.